The Holocaust was the planned persecution and murder of an estimated 6 million Jewish people across European countries during the Second World War, carried out by Nazi Germany and its associates. As every person learns about the Holocaust, it impacts them all differently. Some people may be impacted internally, but acting differently on the outside. Some people aren't really affected at all. Some people are affected deeply, and they strive to learn more about the victims or the persecutors. Visiting the Auschwitz and Birkenau camps made me learn more about the Holocaust than I was taught in the classroom. I learned about some of the tales of the Holocaust survivors, how they coped, what life was like for them, and what they did to survive. It made me realize just how much the statistics can make people forget that these are people who are no different than any of us today. The stories told by the guides enhanced this. Alternatively, the story I heard from a still living Holocaust survivor made the Holocaust feel the most real. To hear a man speaking about his family, his childhood, and the way his parents tried to protect him from being persecuted is a powerfully emotional experience. Hearing him talk about how he was baptized to hide his Jewish identity showed to me the extent of the fear felt within the European Jewish communities, going as far as to deny their religion to avoid being persecuted. The fact that I was able to hear him speak about his experiences is something I still think about and will continue to think about in the future. There are many things I can talk about that I have learned, but there are a few in particular that stand out to me. The first is the use of what look like square pools of water, of which there are several at the sites of Auschwitz I and Auschwitz-Birkenau. Holocaust deniers have tried to use these to claim that living conditions couldn't have been that bad because they had a swimming pool. In reality, those pools were used by companies insuring the buildings at both sites, that in case a fire was to break out, the buildings could be saved with the water. The darker truth of this is it shows how people were indirectly involved with the Holocaust. The insurance companies knew what the camps were being used for. However, their primary concern was not of the welfare of the thousands of people imprisoned at the camps, but instead they were concerned with keeping the buildings secure and stable. The other thing I would like to mention is the involvement of Britain in the Holocaust. During the Holocaust, Britain saved the lives of approximately 10,000 children on the Kinder transport. However, while the government praised its achievements, this darker fact was neglected to public knowledge. During the Holocaust, thousands of Jews tried to enter Palestine to escape Nazi jurisdiction. The British government imposed restrictions in 1939 on Jewish immigration to Palestine, therefore withholding the Jews from legal access to a place where they could be safe from the Nazi regime. That is not to say that Britain should be blamed. Blame is something which we must be careful where it's placed. Instead, remember that while the country saved 10,000 Jews, it also unknowingly sent just as many to their deaths. The trip to Poland, to me, it felt surreal. Being able to see everything up close and in detail felt both overwhelming and underwhelming at the same time. What stood out to me on the trip was all the stories of Holocaust victims and survivors. Being able to see them in a new light and not just as statistics really helped put into perspective just how different the Holocaust is to different people. Not to mention how traumatic it was for all the victims. It also helped me to see the humans behind the Holocaust and think about every person involved, from the perpetrators to the victims. In the end, I went home thinking how lucky I am to live in a world that is more inclusive to everyone, and it helped me appreciate what I have.